afternoon, dear reading club members. Welcome to our first, online reading club. How you are feeling being on quarantine? Nobody sick, everybody is all right? So, yes?
Everything's fine for us for now. Our neighborhood is still safe, and we're still at home, kind of isolating ourselves in our neighborhood. I think it's relatively safe. In Samarkand, it's kind of still we feel relaxed.
Okay. Happy to know about that. You are safe and sound. So we are starting. Everybody remember what kind of book we are reading this time?
Alchemist.
Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Okay. So we are having our visual presentation. Usually we are starting our reading club session with the biography of the author. Okay. So, anybody knows anything about Paulo Coelho? Anybody?
Not much.
Not much, yeah. So at least,
that
what is his origin?
From Brazil.
From Brazil, absolutely, Shirzot. Anybody else? Some ideas about Paulo Coelho?
No, I know that he was prison.
Some kind of echo, yes, some kind of echo. All right, so Paulo Coelho, you're absolutely right, Shirzot, that he was born in Brazil and he's our contemporary because he's alive and he's famous all over the world. His works were translated into 65 languages and he wrote 26 books. Half of those become bestsellers and were translated and famous all over the world. Interesting that his parents were so against to the idea that he's going to be a writer. So they even put his, they were thinking that he has problems, mental problems, and even put him into mental hospital by rejecting the idea to become an engineer and to become an author, to become a writer. So that was a very kind of tough. Okay, so it was very tough for him to become a writer because his parents were so much against it. Coelho is writing about himself, about him, not in terms of his biography, but in terms of his ideas and his work outlook. So he is describing how he does see this world and what he thinks about it. And Alchemist is one of these ideas regarding the world, that everything is already have some kind of scenario and you have to fit into the scenario. So there are some, on this slide, there are some kind of dates about Paulo Coelho. He was born in 1947. He was not a very good student at school because he was not interested in STEM subjects. He was mostly interested in fantasy and lived in his fantasy world. And he was during some protest movements in Brazil in 1970s, and even wrote some lyrics for the protest songs in Brazil. He was jailed 3 times because of his political activity and even experienced some torture. So his life was full of interesting moments. Some of them were happy, some of them were not. And what he's saying about his own life and own works, you can see in this, you will see in his interview. So how he defines himself? He is hippie, he is a journalist, he is a rock star, playwright, theater director, produces television programs, actor. So he has many professors, and he doesn't describe himself as a writer. So I mean, he always thought that other professions are more important than this one. Like Santiago, in his book, he walked quite a bit along the roads of from Rio de Janeiro to other places in Brazil. So he liked these road trips, but many of the people in the Western Hemisphere, they are doing their road trips by car, but he does it on foot. So he was doing also some kind of pilgrimage. Tatiana Kukina from our university, she has done the same kind of pilgrimage in Spain to visit the site of the Catholic saint place, Santiago. There are 3 routes. In Spain, one is longer than others, but you have to go more than 1,000 kilometers on foot in order to reach this place. So he has been doing it himself, and this long journey on foot exists in many of his books, but the main one is pilgrimage. All right, so now we are going to see some videos where Paulo Coelho is giving interview to talking about what he's thinking about his life and what he's trying to put into his books.
You're one of the world's most widely read authors, but you're more than just a writer. You know, you've become something of a spiritual icon. How do you regard yourself nowadays?
I would totally disagree with you. I'm not a spiritual master or anything. I am someone who is, well, walking through this life and learning at the same time. What I do is to share my experience, because I think life is about sharing. So in this case, I write things that I feel, and then when the books are out, people identify themselves with my books, but not with my answers, mostly with my questions.
Well, listen, I know you've said that you have nothing to teach, but you have something to share. But it must put some pressure on you when people are looking for answers. Obviously, you're touching something that people are missing in their lives.
Do you believe so? Well, I don't know. I think that when I write a book, I'm trying to understand myself, because it's not easy to understand yourself unless you share, as I said, with someone else. So when I see it, I have no clear idea what I'm going to write about. Sometimes it is a totally unknown part of me who does it. So we get inspiration. Inspiration meaning getting things from outside to inside. So my books mostly, they try to share to myself, who am I? Because I'm the constant process of discovering myself.
When you're a child, you think that only you exist. Right. And one day I was by a orange tree, and I had the sensation that I was alive. Do you remember the day that you realized that you were alive?
No, I don't remember that day.
But I remember. So
I wish I did,
so,
but okay.
So, but that is, my God, I'm alive. Not only I am alive, but I'm not the center of the universe. And then I realized that I was alive, and there was a lot of things going on outside my childish world. Mm-hmm. And so I said, I'm going to pay attention to what is going on. And this is how I survived it.
You're one of the world's most...
Okay, so I want to ask you, do you like Paulo Coelho? Do you like his life? Would you like to live the same kind of life as he does? Who can answer this question? All right, nobody?
Well, it's hardly possible to answer this question because in the interviews we weren't able to, how to say, see the part of his life. Actually, we know very little about him, and probably because of that, no one can answer exactly how, whether they really want to experience the, how to say, the life that he had. But I think he became a well-known and I would say bestseller writer in the world, and that's therefore I think everyone would love to be in his place. That's what I can say.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Shurgot. Yes, I mean, he never been thinking about being famous. You can see it from his interview, from the facts about his life. It's just coincidence. You know, I mean, he was writing about what kind of inspiration he was getting. So without thinking that whether it's going to be famous or not. So he's just living the life he likes to live. I always think that this is the best way. Not everybody can do it. Unfortunately, I cannot, but that's some people can. All right. So we are moving towards our next stage of our reading club. We are going to talk about his book, and I will provide you with some facts. So the book itself was written in 1987, and just a little book written and published somewhere in an unknown publishing house, so it was not famous. However, and it was written in Portuguese. So how many people in the world are reading in Portuguese? Probably only in Brazil and Portugal itself. But when it was translated into French, it has become accessible for many more people. And all of a sudden it became a huge, huge success. Although, I mean, in the beginning, they were thinking about that it's just a little fairy tale and with a happy end. That's basically it. So in France, it became a bestseller as soon as it was translated. And then it was translated in many other languages and sold so far 35 million copies. But whenever you go, you know, I mean, and I know, I mean, I've been to mostly in United States to the bookshops and in the UK. So whenever you go to the bookshop in UK or US, you always have The Alchemist and other works of Paulo Coelho, and they always quite popular among readers. So the book is very difficult to define. How you would define this book? What is it? Fairy tale, a true story, a journey book? How you would define it? Anybody? Okay, you have read the book. What the genre? What the genre of the book? What do you think?
It's kind of storytelling, like for little children.
Yeah, so
it
is a children's book. You will define it as a children's book, yes?
Yeah, but it's more philosophical. I mean, it has some ideology. I mean, philosophy of the writer, and it has, you know, difficult to explain, but the mixture of explanation of different religions, like Christianity and Islam, especially.
Yes. Okay.
So
it's a kind of difficult to explain because it doesn't belong to particular genre, yes? So it can be a kid's book, although I don't think that the kids would be really interested in those discoveries of the alchemist or philosophical stone and other things. Although
yes, for children, maybe it can be difficult to understand,
it's sophisticated,
to grasp. Yes, but still, the way the story is told is kind of very simple, but there are like too many expressions used which connect dots, different dots, make the whole picture. For children, maybe it will be kind of a storytelling, but it's more philosophical.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much, Herzog. Any other ideas regarding the genre of the book? I mean, it's quite philosophical, but it's at the same time it is mystical, so more than philosophical, and there is some kind of wisdom about how to live the life and about the meaning of the life as well. So why you are living, what are your journey in this life for? I mean, I think that it's kind of thing that probably people in their youth are looking for. I mean, they are still thinking what kind of life they're going to live. So I'm thinking that it is more for them. Okay. Remember the plot of the book. So the boy from a simple background, his name is Santiago, living in Spain, and he doesn't like the life of his parents because they never go anywhere and they are doing the same thing all over again. Every day they are waking up, almost like we are doing on quarantine. So, and he wants to travel. However, in this part of the world where he is living, the only way to become a traveler is to become a shepherd, to get sheep and take them all over the places. Then he met some kind of magician who told him that he has a destiny and he has to find his treasure. And this destiny takes him way away from his home, and he experiences a lot of adventures and finally gets back home to find the treasure. But along the way, he finds a lot of interesting things. He found his true love. He found his true teacher. He found his true friend. And this is how he how the work of the alchemist is organized. But who are the alchemists? Do you know anything about alchemy? What is it?
It's like magicians, or how to say, people who can change, for example, stone to gold or something like that.
So any element, the alchemist, the ultimate goal of the alchemist was to create to transform a very simple elements, chemical elements, into gold. Yes. And in order to do this kind of thing, they are been using special thing. They call it philosophical stones. So the philosophical stone is a kind of very interesting thing that provides you with wealth, provides you with eternal life, health. So it's something which makes your life meaningful. And all the alchemists were searching for this philosophical stone.
Yeah, there's kind of Harry Potter philosophical stone in Harry
Yes.
Potter.
In Harry Potter philosophical stone, the stone has already been there. They've been, it was hidden somewhere. At least, Harry Potter just was looking for that because that was a threat that somebody can take it and use it for evil things. So, but alchemists mostly been using, they've been discovering the philosophical stone. So they're trying to find initial one. All right, so We have some kind of slides about alchemy. So the root and history of the word of alchemy comes from the Greek word, and it means that to separate and join together. There are different types of alchemy, and actually alchemy gave birth to the chemistry, to the modern chemistry, and different types of alchemy gave birth to different types of chemistry. So for example, Spagric Act, it's plant alchemy, when they were trying to mix different plants and different organs of the animals and create special mixtures which would heal people or provide eternal life. And another type of alchemy, the most famous, is transforming common metals into gold. All right. Talking about Alchemist plot more in details, we are thinking about Santiago. He is the main hero of this book. And so this is a special quiz. This is a journey, and this is a map which shows which places Santiago has visited during his journey. So he was born in Andalusia, in his hometown, and the first place which he visited, it was abandoned church on the hilltop, which is kind of a very interesting place in this, the most famous place in this part of Spain. Then, when he visited this abandoned church, he was thinking about going somewhere much further away than this church. And he was thinking about adopting the flocks of sheep and take a journey around his country. And the sheep is a kind of interesting partner for Santiago. They're not talking, but they're listening. And they're his main companions for a long time. So he knows the sheep very well. He knows who is going to give birth or what kind of character do they have. So the sheep in this story are kind of personalized. They have personal characters. They have personal presence. Now I want to ask you, please tell what is thing which happened and made him to start the journey. Why he started this journey? Who read the book?
I think everybody did. But do you mean his journey to Egypt?
I mean his journey to leave his hometown. So Dilmurad Nazarmatov raised hand. This is you, Dilmurad.
Well, I think his main inspiration was to travel, and after his father told him that given their financial condition, that they were not so rich and they were simple farmers, it was impossible for them to travel, and therefore the only way that Santiago could have traveled around the world was to get some sheep and become a shepherd, so he would have be able to constantly go around and see new places in order to feed his sheep. And that's the way he became a shepherd and started traveling, I think.
Okay, thank you very much.
Can I also, Victoria? Hello.
Madina and yes.
Was it about the girl? He fell in love with the girl and he wanted to collect money.
Yes, it happened a little bit later when he already got his sheep. But what happened inside the abandoned church? That Madina and Firuza raised their hand. Madina, please.
If I'm not wrong, he saw a dream and he asked the woman to tell him what was the dream about, and she said that he should find his treasure.
Okay, so it was Gypsy, yes? Okay, thank you, Madina.
Yes.
Firuza, what do you think?
It was also something like what Evelina told, connected to with this girl. Maybe he wanted to kind of show off. Maybe no, no, I don't know. I thought so.
Okay, thank you. All right, next stop in his journey is
Tangier.
what? Mhm. What is next stop is Tarifa. Why Tarifa was so important? So in this town he met two important people, a fortune teller and the old king. Who are they? Tell me. Okay, tell me who are they? What importance? What kind of importance they had in this story? Gypsy, an old woman living in Tarifa who interprets dreams. Yes, Madina.
Tarifa asked him to. Tarifa could find out the how to say the meaning of his dream, and then she told him that he should go to the pyramids, and he didn't know this. She even didn't know where the pyramids are exactly, but she asked him to give half of his treasure to her.
Okay.
And another king of Salim, yes, he told him about how to say the science in the life, what they mean, and how to say science in English. Like there's one word.
Omens, yeah.
Omens, yes, about omens in the life, and he said that that woman who interpreted his dream is how to say. He told him that it's important not to say about your goals to others, about your treasures,
Okay.
because if you tell them to others, there is a possibility that it won't happen.
Anybody can add anything? So he received some kind of gifts from King
Yes.
Salem.
He received 2 stones from King of Salem, like Urim and Thummim. I don't remember how it was sounded. Yeah. And then those stones always, told something about these omens. He used twice, right? Later in his journey.
Yes. Anybody else can add anything regarding the Tarifa? What has happened over there? Why he was coming back to Tarifa all the time?
For a girl who whom he wanted to meet and get married, but I mean the daughter of kind of shop owner or someone, I don't know. I don't remember actually.
Owner, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because he wanted to sell the wool of his sheep, and then he met the daughter of that shop owner.
And he has a friend in Tarifa as well, so with whom he can leave the flock of sheep. And yeah, so Tarifa is an important part of his, journey. Okay, so this is a king of Salem. He talks about the story about the drops of oil. Anybody can recall this story? Nobody remembers? Okay, anybody remember the names of the 2 stones he received?
One was Thummim and Urim.
Okay. All right, next stop. We go to Tangier, Morocco. What brought Santiago to this town? I have problems. I cannot hear properly. Somebody who was talking at the moment, it was just a noise. Lola Shadmanova raised hand. Lola, please.
I think the sound is coming from Lola Shadmanova's phone. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, somebody. I don't know. I mean. Okay. Please. Who wants to talk about Morocco, the Tangier? What happened to? Don't leave, please. What happened to those people? Okay, raise hand, please. I will ask you to join us. Dilmurad, please. Dilmurad, please start.
So he went to Africa by boat. I think it was a 2-hour long travel. So it wasn't that distant from Spain. And once he got there, he had money which he received by selling all his ship, and he entered pub or something like that. So it was like a bar, and he didn't speak the language. So the local people spoke Arabic, but a person approached him and he noticed that Santiago was not a local person, so he was a foreigner. It was I think it was apparent by his appearance, and he thought that they started conversation, and during that conversation Santiago told him that he was going to pyramid, and his partner asked whether he had enough money to travel there, and Santiago showed him the money he received by selling his ship. And there, the owner of the pub became angry at Santiago, and his partners told that each town had its own thieves, and he'd better be more he should secure his money actually. And they headed into market, and there were lots of people, and during their journey in the market, Santiago saw a beautiful sword that wasn't comparable to the ones he saw before. And during that time, he lost that person and who was carrying his money, and basically he got all his money stolen and had to work in the crystal shop for 11 months, I think. And so yes.
Okay. What kind of lessons he learned while working at the crystal shop? Evelina, please start.
Yeah, this is one of the most favorite of my parts. I think that he learned how to be creative and how innovative ideas can improve and change person's life. And he also changed the crystal merchant's life when he proposed a new approach, a new design, giving people what they like, beauty and water combined.
I absolutely agree with you. It's also it's one of the lifting points of the story, yes? Because people were living traditionally, generations after generations, without changing anything. And when the young mind came to this town and just suggested just a slight difference, yes? At least he started to, to wash those crystals, not to look dusty. It's already made it, and it's already improved the profits of the crystal merchant.
And people were afraid of changes. The crystal merchant, he knew that it's going to bring him more profit because he liked the idea. But at first he was afraid to implement it because he knew that revenues will improve, and what is he going to do with those money? He had to think about this.
But first of all, he was thinking about risks he's taking, because the crystal thing is why it's never been washed, because they're very fragile, and he was afraid that some clumsy person would just ruin everything. So he didn't wash them just because he was afraid of the risk. And then he started afraid that he needs to change something on a bigger scale, yes, and he doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other ideas about this part of his journey? Thank you very much, Evelina.
You're welcome.
I think one more thing that he learned while he was working in Crystal Shop was that he changed his previous belief, which was about that ships could teach anything. But after spending some time in the Crystal Shop and learning how to speak Arabic, he changed his mind and thought that ships would never be able to teach him how to speak Arabic. And so I think it was one of the lessons he learned.
So it was a step up in his self-improvement, yes? So in living a different life, getting the different skills. So it was one step up. Thank you very much. Any other ideas?
Can I add something else?
Yes, please.
I like this part as well, because in this part, even Coelho was, I think he's a Christian. I mean, he's a Christian, and he showed some, delicate patterns of Islamic religion, because the crystal merchant was a Muslim.
Yes.
And whenever when the guy, like Santiago cleans the dust of these crystals, and after doing his job, he asks why he didn't stop him to do so. And he says, because you're the guest or stranger, and I cannot just ignore you, like as a Muslim, right? I have to. So it's like he's showing, like, what do we say, another word, hospitality. What was that? I don't know.
Yes, hospitality.
Of Muslims. And another thing is that when another thing that when the guy, Santiago wants to read omens, and by reading the omens, he makes a profit for the shop. But so far, the crystal merchant didn't want to have more money than he was earning enough for his life, right? And this also shows the feeling content with whatever you earn. It was like kind of Islamic philosophy.
Yeah, well, he had some dream. He wanted to go to Mecca.
Mostly in Islam, they teach us, like, for being content. Yeah, he needed money only for going to Mecca, but for other things, for his own life, he felt content with whatever he had so far, right? And this is the one of the good features.
Yeah, absolutely. But he was not rejecting the innovations which were suggested by Santiago. I really appreciate this crystal merchant, because although he was a very traditional.
You understand what I mean?
Yes. Yes, thank you, Sherzod. Thank you.
Yes.
So, absolutely, yes, he's a very modest man. He's happy with his lifestyle, but he's not rejecting the innovations which were brought to his life. So he accepts them and he welcomes them. But he said that you never will be going back to your ship, and I never will go to Mecca. So he doesn't have much trust in, in fulfilling the dreams. All right. Thank you very much. We are moving ahead. So after Santiago joins a caravan to get to Egypt, and he meets the Englishman who is trying to become an alchemist. And this is how Santiago is learning about alchemy. All right, can you tell us about this? Yes, please. Who? Raise your hand. Yes, please describe.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, please.
We cannot hear anything, or only my phone doesn't work.
No, actually, and our phone doesn't work.
Guys, do you listen? Are you able to see the slides? Are you able to see the presentation?
No.
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 Okay, so we are reopening it again. Share screen.
This one?
Yes. So now you can see it, yes?
Yes.
So everything is back. All right, guys. Let's talk about Englishman. Don't leave, both of you. Let's talk about Englishman. So what is this character? Why it was important in Santiago's life? Nobody knows anything about Englishman?
Well, he's the one who introduced the Alchemist. I mean, the how to say, the topic about Alchemist. So I think that's why he added this character, just to make a link between and to give a hint about, you know, meeting Alchemist in the future.
Okay, but Alchemist himself, when he met Santiago and this Englishman, he did not realize, he did not recognize an Englishman as his student. Why? So he was thinking that he's not good enough. Why he's not good enough to be?
Because he was not trying, he was not practicing, but he was only reading, like as if like scientists are always doing research on theories, but without practicing. So he was just, he had knowledge, but he didn't even try what he learned. So that's why he maybe didn't recognize him as Alchemist.
Any other ideas? Thank you very much, Shirzot. Yes, I agree with you. Any other ideas? Why he decided to just quit his life, quit his study, and go with a caravan to seeking for this alchemist? What do you think? What made this Englishman to travel? Although he is just a theoretical guy, you know, he's not practical, as Shirzot said, but he decided to give up everything in his life and join the caravan. Evelina, what do you think? Firuza?
I remember that he wanted to see the pyramids very much, and he understood that unless he goes right now, he was quite close to Egypt. He will never do it if he's going to postpone it.
All right, but yes, interesting that, but the main aim was to meet the alchemist he was, you know, heard about. That's for the Englishman. All right, let's move on. Yes, Harry Potter is in a full swing. They had, you know, Deathly Hallow, you know, sign, but this sign actually means philosopher's stone. So it means stone within different kind of elements. I don't remember exactly what each element means, but I think it is air. This means fire, and this is means air, this is means fire, this is means earth, and the stone something inside of it. This is how the philosopher's stone is described by alchemists. All right, so next stop in Santiago's journey. He finds the alchemist and finding Fatima. And why he met both in this oasis? Because all over the places it was war between different tribes of Africa, and they just got stuck there. Okay, let's talk about the alchemist. What is this figure? It's the most mysterious and the most magical and powerful figure in this story. Anybody can describe him, and anybody remembers how they got met? Nobody? Hamid, have you read it? All right. So, what about Fatima? Who is this girl?
Can I add
Yes,
my
please.
sense?
Mhm.
That's my favorite part. Fatima is an Arabic girl, and how would I say? She motivates him to go to find his treasure. The boy was falling in love with her, and he was even how to say, ready to stay with her and not to go to find his treasure. But Fatima was the one who said that she would wait until he goes to find his treasure and comes back to her.
Okay, all right. So, why she would wait for him? Why, I mean, what's different about Fatima? How different she is from other girls? Anybody? She is a desert girl. Poeta Carla said several times she is a desert girl, so she has a different character.
Yeah,
So
and her father was also. Yes, go ahead.
She knew that he could just go and not come back.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
But regardless that she agreed to wait.
Okay, yes. Shirzot, please.
Yeah, because you called her as a desert girl, and she knew from her family that, and she knew that her father was also kind of merchant who was trading in caravans, right? And then
yes,
he has gone like for long trips for many times, and he always returned back to his family. So therefore, she said, if you have a dream, if you have kind of you have intention to reach your dream, then go ahead and first I would say accomplish your mission, and then you will come. If you will come back again, then we can just have a family. She just says. So that means that she will be waiting as her mother did. I mean, waiting for his father. Her father. So that's what she meant, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they are in the same wave. So she also believes in omens. She believes in desert, and she believes in destiny. So she's thinking that if he's coming back, it means that the desert brought him to this.
Yeah, and she also reminds that if he let's say if he doesn't go and if he doesn't accomplish his mission, and some years later after their marriage, if he feels kind of pity for not going to not searching for the treasure that he wanted to find, and he will feel pity, and later on it will affect their relationship. So she knew about it. So she just asked him to how to say accomplish his mission first and have a family.
Yes, interesting that she has full trust in destiny. She's thinking that if this is her man and the desert brought him to her, it means that he will be back. Yeah, so I mean, she had this very kind of vigorous, you know.
Yeah, strong trust.
Yes, trust. All right, thank you very much. Then they are continuing their journey. Although the chief of caravan, he said that it's a very unwise because the wars are in full swing, so they are put themselves into dangerous situation, but they decided to continue. So Alchemist gave Santiago some gold made from stone. And what happened to them when they were, how Santiago transformed, let's put that way. What Alchemist made to transform the Santiago? I mean, what happened to them? Because they were in a really dangerous situation, yes, and somehow they escaped. What happened?
In the middle of the desert, they were arrested by one of the tribes that were engaged in war, and the members of that tribe saw them having conversation with the members of another tribe during their trip, and so they thought that those Santiago and Alchemist were spies, and therefore they wanted to kill them. But Alchemist said that Santiago was an alchemist, and if he wanted, he would have destroyed all the constructions of the tribe, turning himself into a wind, and the chief of the tribe wanted to see how he would have done so, and gave him 3 days. And during those 3 days, Alchemist said that Alchemist was able to transform himself into wind, and the only person who was in danger of death was Santiago himself, and could better learn how to become wind if he wanted to survive. And after that, he spent a lot of time, I think, the whole day in the desert, and I think he kind of opened his soul and discovered, I think he became closer to the God, and he started understanding the language of the sand and the wind and the sun, and he made it so he transformed himself into wind and like destroyed everything in his way.
Oh, thank you very much. It is a very descriptive account. However, anybody can add anything. All right, but why Alchemist allowed to Santiago go to pyramids alone? Why he sent him that he has to be alone on the the last leap of his travel? Firuza, anybody?
I'm a bit in samba mood. I don't know. I will be a good listener today.
Okay, all right. Okay, so, and what happened next when they reached pyramids?
So if I can answer.
Please.
Before he came to the pyramids, his heart, before he before he out like in the last June before the pyramids, his heart told him that he should dig the place where his tear would fall, and when he saw the pyramids, he started to cry, and there one of his tears fall to the sand, and he remembered the words of his heart and started to dig, and he was about to find his treasure finally, but no, there wasn't anything, but 2 or 3 people arrived out of nowhere and started to ask what he was doing and who was he, and he said he wasn't doing anything and like that. And they found the gold which the alchemist gave him, and they took it, and they suspected that he had far more gold and he was hiding it in the hole, and they started to beat him up. But lastly, he said that he was searching for treasure when he was digging the hole, and they laughed at him and didn't take it seriously. And one of the men who have beaten up Santiago said that a person shouldn't always believe his dreams and it shouldn't take it seriously. So he said that he had also had a similar dream in which he saw that the treasure was waiting for him in an abandoned church in Spain, where Santiago met the king. So it was kind of conveying necessary information to Santiago, but that person failed to act and get his treasure, so it became Santiago's treasure.
Okay, thank you very much. And omens again. So he came across the beetle, the scarab beetle, and he recognized it as a good omen, although that this was not a very good encounter when he lost all his gold. All right. So he continued to dig where he saw the beetle, the scarab beetle, and a group of raiders came and beat him up, making him dig. So one of them tells Santiago about his dream and treasure. And at the ruins of church under the sycamore trees root in the floods of Spain where the shepherd and his sheep stay. So what is his last stop? He is coming back to this abandoned church. And he is finding his treasure. Yes, over there. Story begins and it loops in Andalusia. So he was going through all these steps in order to find the treasure in his hometown. But do you think this trip was absolutely meaningless because he could stay home and get his treasure, right away if he is lucky? Do you think that it was necessary to go through all these steps? What he found along his trip, what do you think? Would you continue, if you know that you are staying home and you can find your treasure at home, would you go for this very long journey? Sherzod, what do you think?
I cannot say I would go for a long, just like following my dream. What I've dreamt at night and following my dream, searching a treasure for such kind of long distance. But here in the story, like first he wanted to travel. So I think, traveling to Egypt and coming back again, like he achieved his kind of dream too. So it's like, it is also like kind of linked once again, like he achieved his dream of traveling. And another thing is like during his travel, he, finds out, he learns different things about alchemy, about, oneness, or what we say, without even language, you can just, he could communicate with sheep, he could communicate with other people, like without knowing the language. So he understands this kind of the soul of the world, the kind of stuff. Like it's too philosophical to explain everything in detail. But what I want to say is like the whole trip teaches him the way how to achieve his dream, and then whenever you're a child, you can dream lots of things, and if you follow your heart, your soul, that means that leads to your destiny. So it's like kind of every part of it leads to, how to say, one kind of the main gist of the novel, I would say, dream and destiny. So therefore, he needed to have traveled this whole Africa, not Africa, I mean, to Egypt.
Yeah, I agree with you, Charlotte. I think that Paula Coelho think that this is life. Life is a trip. So sometimes it making loop, but without that experience which you are gaining during your trip when you are living, you would not be able to find your treasure. I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, so we are moving to discussion questions. Some people think that The Alchemist is a self-help book. Why do you think, I mean, why it is considered that way? Anybody can answer this question. So, Santiago was helping himself. He was not asking for help from anybody else. People were coming and offering the help, yes? So he was learning through his own initiatives, his own innovations, his own curiosity. And so he's there to change his life, and that therefore he's kind of helping himself. Another question, please discuss the meaning of the quote and provide your own from your own experience. This is the quote. I'm trying. Смотри, что-то такое. It's still loading, guys. Just wait a little bit. Something wrong with the internet connection.
To realize one's personal legend is a person's only real obligation. To realize one's personal legend is a person's only real obligation. To realize one's personal legend is a person's only real obligation. All things are one, and when you want something, all of the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it.
Okay, any ideas about this? Do you feel it from your own life experience, that all things are one, and to realize one's personal legends is a person only real? Okay, Firuza, please.
Yes, this is true. I totally agree with this quotation. You know, I can tell from my own experience. When we want to achieve something, we should, how to say, we should not fear, we should not feel fear, we should just move on. Even if we think that something is not for us, it is beyond our capacity, still we need to move on. Because when you move, you will open step by step the doors. This is happening in my real life. Very small example I can tell. When I graduated, I graduated the university, bachelor's degree, and 10 years I could not earn my master's degree. There were a lot of different reasons why I couldn't earn it. All the time I wanted to earn the international one. And you know, but still there was some fear inside me. All the time I thought I have already lost my chance and it's not for me. But one feeling didn't leave me. I just tried, I just applied, and I don't know how time passed, and I could see the opportunities. And now, okay, I can tell that I achieved to earn my international master's degree. And I now tell to my peers, to everyone, that just dream, just try, just put your first step, and everything will go with you. I think it's about it, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, thank you, Firuza. Any other ideas? Who can feel that the whole universe conspires to help you to achieve your goals? Yes, okay. Firu?
Can I?
Yes,
I
please.
should raise it.
Yes, Evelina, yes, I see you're raising the hand. Please, Evelina.
Once I read a book. It was a motivational book about, I can say that this quote is the, let's say, the summary is the whole book in several sentences, in 2 sentences. It said that a person, when he wants to achieve something, he should imagine it. For example, let's say a car. Like if a person wants to have a car, instead of complaining and pitying him or herself that he or she doesn't have a car, or there are not good circumstances or time, he should imagine himself or herself driving in this car. What kind of car he has, how much does it cost, how it feels to ride in the salon. And then it says that when person is forming this positive ideas, it kind of the whole world is trying to realize this picture that everyone knows that we are thinking not in sentences but in pictures. So if we bring this picture in our mind, we get closer to our dreams.
Thank you, Evelina.
And I wanted to add about the first question that it is the book Alchemist is about learning and not learning the result. Sometimes the result, of course, it is really important, but the most important is the process. The process of falling and standing up and trying things by him or herself.
Thank you, Evelina. I agree with you. Firuza, you were also raising hand.
No, I have already done.
Madina, you are raising your hand. Madina, please add.
Okay. I completely agree with this, and I want to add that realizing your personal legend means going to that legend like Santiago, not just lying on your bed and dreaming about it, but you should also, at least with small steps, go to your legend, go to your dream. That's what I wanted to add.
Okay, and it's not that easy. It's thorny, and sometimes you have to suffer, yes, on the way.
Yes, but the thing you should do is not to give up and continue going.
Okay. All right, move on to a next question. Consider the desert as a teacher. What does Santiago learn from the desert in The Alchemist? So, what desert was teaching him? You already started to talk about it. What desert the desert was teaching to Fatima, but what she was teaching to others? Any ideas? Nobody is raising hand.
Maybe decision making.
Decision making. Okay, please illustrate with the example.
If I'm not mistaken, in desert, Santiago had to choose whether to go on or give up. Yeah. Yep. And I don't know, I can't remember the pictures, but at last, eventually, he decided to go further, and this was a good teacher in making him decide.
Okay, Madina, please.
I think desert taught Santiago that that person doesn't know what happens in the future.
Yes.
So we can succeed or we can fail, and so we should be ready for everything.
Yes. Okay, Shirzad, please.
Well, actually, for me, like I felt like desert is a kind of hardship, trouble. So it's like all the people, all Arabs who lived in desert, they believed omens. So omens like kind of the signs of for something, for being or for as a sign of opportunity. So I think like desert taught Santiago like to, you know, not to lose those opportunities whenever they face kind of hardship or any kind of trouble. So it's kind of symbol of omens, I would say, like giving opportunity when you face trouble.
Okay. I think that, you know, I can add to all this. I agree with you completely, but I can add to it that contemplation is also a very important skill, which was taught by the desert. Desert seems to be empty space and empty and lifeless, but if you are contemplating, you can see the beauty of the sand, of the sky, of the starry night, and this tranquility which provides by the desert, despite of the war which organized by people. I think this is also a very important lesson. Without this understanding of the desert, without this contemplating it, I don't think that Santiago would be able to transform himself into the wind, or, you know, I mean, to understand desert so much. I think desert taught him to become his main teacher. You know, he had some unusual teachers like sheep, or, you know, I mean, gypsy woman, and the desert was the greatest among all of them, I think. Okay, so we are moving forward, and now we have a very interesting quiz. So my colleagues will explain you what you should do.
Hello, dear students. Hope you are doing well. So the next activity is we are moving to quiz part. So we have some prizes for you. For the first winner, we have it's not notebook, the book note for the first winner. So here is it from Oxford. And for the second winner, we have a bag. This is for
second place.
Yeah, for second place. And for the third place, we have also a pen. So you can take it by making appointment to the university anytime as appropriate to your time. So let me first explain the instructions. So first thing you have to do is, let me share the screen. So first thing you have to do is you have to go to nearpod.com. So I will show you now as I will take the hosting. If you have seen, we have shared the student code to enter to the activity, also towards the Facebook and Instagram, and Zoom link also it's attached. So I will also show you now in a second. And the topics are related to the today's and what you have read on the Alchemist. So we have 5 questions quiz, multiple choice questions, and 1 question for matching. So you have to match. During the matching, you can just click the first one and second one. So the first one should be matched with the second one, and after there will be tick appeared, and then you can move on to the next related. And the question is related with the characters of the Alchemist. And the second one is drag and drop. So in drag and drop, what you have to do that you can find there will be the text, 1 paragraph. So you have to find you have to put the appropriate words to the sentence. So in doing this, you can just drag and drop. So it will be, I think, easy. So I will now took the hosting. So let me share the screen.
Now, could you
see it
on the screen?
On the screen.
Is it visible now?
Is it visible now?
The students?
The students?
Yes, yes.
So there are 6 students. So I think quiz. For the first quiz, you have 45 seconds. Are you ready? Can we start?
Yep.
So Then in 3, I will start 1, 2, and 3. Let's go. You have 45 seconds. 20 seconds left. 10 seconds. So the time is up. So if you see the class participation, now you can share. I'm sharing the answers. Now you can share the correct answers. Let me move on to the next. So the next question is matching. You have 1 minute and 45 seconds. So it will take some time for you to understand. So you text with you have to
And
first
how to
click
match
the
it?
picture or the text, and then in the second time you have to if you have first time click the text, then you have to click the picture. So then tick will appear. If it's not correct, X will appear. First click the picture or text, and then the picture of that. If you click at the picture, so you have to find the text of it and then click that one. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You have 40 seconds. There are 6 characters.
We have already done it.
Wow, great. If you have done it, so it means that for timing, you are winning on the time, yes? If you do earlier finish, so you will get more marks for that.
Thank
also.
you.
Yes, you will have a higher scores at the end. So we have still 10 seconds, and then I will move on to the next. 7, 6, 5. So the time is up. So you can see the first who tried in the match part. You can see that they're not done well. I see Don Jordan, Evelina, Majina, Murakhidov, and Shirzad Haidar. So let's move on to the next activity. Next activity is a quiz. 2 questions and 45 seconds. 7, 5, 2, and 1. So not, I see all of you can answer. So 33% cannot answer, I see. Now you can see the answers and share with the correct one. So now let me move on to the next activity. So the next activity is fill in the blanks. So in this activity, you have to fill the blanks. So it's mostly related with the drag and drop. So I think that you can know how to drag and drop. You have to drag the correct answer to the right column. So let's start. Can everybody drag and drop? Is it understandable?
I see only 2 options and there are 4 blanks. Why so?
4 blanks?
Yeah, there are 4 blanks and only 2 options.
So you have to, if you're on the right side, if there is an arrow, so if you click the arrow, you can see the other 2 options also. Okay. For different devices, it shows differently a little bit. So after 5 seconds, I will move on to the next. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is the last activity, which is quiz. So you will have 30 seconds. The Alchemist in this Guinness World Records as a book by living author. I think it's not a difficult one, yes?
Yes, we hope so.
So, so the time is up now. So now it's time to see the answers, yes? So who is the winner? So from the percentage, if we see that Dilmurad is 100%, yes? So he will be the first. For the second one, Donor hasn't participated because yes, this is actually the students list. So 0 for the, so it means for the second place, it will be, as I see, we have 2 places, Evelina and Shirzod Haidarov, yes? Because they have answered to 60%. Both of them have answered the 60%. But if you see for the order, so it means that Evelina has answered firstly before the Shirzod. But they have, both of them have got the 60%. Yes, so it means that Evelina will be second and Shirzod Haidar will be third. Yes, thanks for also noting. So we have identified now. So in that case, Dilmurad is the first place, then the Evelina and the Shirzod Haidar. Is it right? So
Yeah. Great.
For the first
Thank you.
place, there's a book, Oxford book note. And you can bring by appointment to the university. And for the second place, I'm showing again that this is a bag from Oxford Education. And for only third place, we have only pen. So you can take it anytime by making appointment to the university. So now thanks for your participation. And now let me give my turn to Victoria. Okay. I am unsharing. I will stop the sharing now.
Okay, dear participants, dear Reading Club members, thank you very much for your participation. All right, so if you have any questions to me or to somebody else, this is the right time to ask. I hope that our first online Reading Club session was successful. You enjoyed it, although of course it is not as cozy and intimate as face-to-face sessions with biscuits and with tea and coffee. However, we are trying to do our best under the circumstances. So we decided to do it like this. While it is still online and we still have to keep distancing, we are going to have our reading clubs every month. So soon enough, we will announce you what kind of book we are going to read next time. So next reading club is going to be in September. And hope to see you all and wish you all the best. Especially please stay healthy, safe, and try to avoid all problems and troubles and enjoy your life as much as possible. Okay, thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you.
Okay, and my congratulations to the winners, and thank you, and Shirzod, Evelina, Dilmurad, and Firuza, you were Evelina, you were the most active today. Thank you very much for your participation. Special thanks.
Thank you so much, Victoria.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Victoria. Yes, and the guys who organized Abos, yes, and Lola and Kamola and Denise. Thank you very much. It is very nice to communicate with you and to read books. Yes, and to discuss them, even in this situation, in quarantine and lockdown. You are really lifting our spirits. Thanks.
Thank you, Evelina. Thank you. Yes, you are lifting our spirits as well. Madina, thank you very much for your very, very good insights. And thank you, everybody. See you in September.
Thanks. Bye-bye.